Hi everybody, welcome to Staff Gymnasium. I'm Dominic Damiano, joined by Nate Rollins. Chris Brazel will have the stats at the half and on the postgame. We have a great contest for you today as the visiting Dartmouth Indians from, of course, Dartmouth High School coming to take on the Brockton Boxers. Right now, Nate, get a little heads up from first-year coach Nick Simonetti. 5-1 on the year as of right now. Their first conference game, Brockton 2-1. Just where they had to cancel the Catholic, the Cambridge Ridge and Latin game due to the weather, and God knows if they'll make that up. That's another subject for another time. But what are your thoughts right now from what you see and what you had? You know, we had a chance to talk to Coach Barrows. Actually, had a chance to talk to both coaches. But what was your take from our conversations earlier today?
Well, Coach Barrows is stressing crashing the boards. He said the Indians are going to take a lot of shots, and his team needs to be aggressive down low. And you know, when we saw Brockton early in the year, that is what they did. They crashed the boards. They need to do that again today if they're going to win their conference opener.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. I got a text message from my 91-year-old mother.
How's she doing?
She's doing good.
Good day.
She's doing good. I kind of dropped the ball on the dinner date, but I got to make that up on Thursday. We want to give a couple shout-outs. First big shout-out we want to give is to Newbie Rateau, BSU grad. He is going to be at the graduation. He's receiving the Distinguished Service Award.
Wow.
Another big shout-out we want to give it to Mary Ellen Rollins as she's taking her daughter back to school. And what was that school again?
Tabor Academy.
I get Tabor and Thayer.
Well, don't max them up. Don't go to Tabor and say anything about there. You might get kicked out.
Yeah, and one of my biggest shout-outs is to my little sister, who I love more than you know, as she is just kicked cancer's ass. And I'm really proud of her.
She's a warrior.
She's a warrior, and again, I don't want to get all teared up here on TV, but I told her I was going to give her a shout out. I want to be a man for my word. And of course, one of my other big shout outs is to my main girl, Susan Tanos, and I didn't say Tantos.
Didn't butcher it this time.
I know I didn't butcher it. Not like the last time. Mike the Postman Simmons is on audio, visual, doing all the directing.
Behind the scenes. Wouldn't be possible without him.
Yep. And I'm sorry you didn't like his sub earlier. That was out of our control.
We won't mention where it came from.
Right. So, exactly. Exactly correct. We won't mention that. My tale of the tape is I looked at the Dartmouth schedule. And to my own fault, sometimes I play too much of a homer. I do it when I cover the Whitman-Hanson games. I do it when I cover the Bridgewater hockey games. And what I'm referring to is that how they played a very, very good basketball program, but they are more Division III and Division IV. They just came off a tough loss in the Taunton Memorial Tournament over at Rabowen Fieldhouse at Taunton High. So this is going to be, thank you, sir, as this is going to be a real test, I think, for the Indians. Again, actually going to be a boat, like you said before, it's going to be a big test for both teams. Big conference matchup of the year. I apologize. I forgot to check the other teams in the conference, if they have any head-to-heads coming up, what they have, as far as schedule. I'll try to get to that if I remember. But this is going to be one heck of the game as the crowds are slowly starting to fill here at Staff Gymnasium.
Well, yeah, as they say, you can only play a schedule, right? So we can't fault Dartmouth for this 5-1 record. Sure, they may not have had the big dogs yet. But Bishop Stang, who they beat pretty handedly earlier in the season, they're a pretty formidable program. Good boys basketball program. Maybe they got a down year this year, but they are very well coached over at Bishop Stang. In terms of Brockton, though, they've only played 3 games. Coming off that loss against Lawrence, you got Dartmouth 6 games, you got Brockton with 3. Does that have a factor in this one? I mean, Dartmouth's played a lot of basketball this year already.
No, that's true. And one of the other things you've mentioned in the past and other broadcasts we've done before is that the team that has the most points when the buzzer goes off at the end of the game is going to win the game. So it's all going to come down to, to get to one of your old points, it's going to come down to the most consistent team. Who's in the groove? Who's gelling on the court? Who's communicating the best? Who's running the fast breaks? Who's pressing? Who's half-court pressing? who's running the game plan, stuff like that that you mentioned before, another broadcast we've had.
Yeah, and Coach Barrows mentioned this is going to be a tough task going against Dartmouth. And one player he pointed to specifically was number 34, Hunter Madison, the junior. He said he makes everything go for Dartmouth.
Yeah, good point. On a somber note, and I believe they're going to mention this tonight, I want to give my big condolences to the Ortiz family. This court is named after Victor M. Ortiz. He's the one that taught Coach Bowen everything about, got him ready for his varsity coaching basketball experience. And of course, the Barrows learned from Bowen. And deepest sympathy here at Brockton Community Access TV Sports to the family and friends, close friends with head coach, former coach of Brockton High School basketball, Victor M. Ortiz.
Absolutely, and a legend. The court's named after him. Won a state title here, right?
They did.
And
yep.
What are your fondest memories watching him coach? Because I never got the privilege to, but what are your fondest memories?
Me and my friends used to sneak in here when we were little. He was a very stickler for fundamentals, you know. And I really thought that I was watching an NBA team. But then again, I was a young kid.
Sure.
And I was just so impressed the way he was a fundamental, for the fundamentals. Coach Bowen inherited that from him as well, and it was just fun to watch. And then another good note, we are playing with 3 officials in the Southeast Conference matchup. How many times have we gone down to Whitman Hanson to watch the BR game, and there's only 2 officials? And with no disrespect, sometimes I feel like I can run off them and beat them to the court and back sometimes. But of course, I'm trying to make a joke out of it and stuff like that. But it's good to have these 3 officials in this big conference game.
It sure is, and we're actually getting to a day and age where officials are pretty scarce. I mean, that's a tough position. You got people in the crowd barking at you, this, that. So I know they do a great job here at Brockton, keeping the fans under control, though.
Oh, absolutely. So we're moments away. I'm going to get off, and I'm going to go over to the public address announcer for the starting lineups. And we're about to do that in about 15 seconds.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's in the visiting Dartmouth Indians and your Brockton Boxers. Please do your part by showing respect to everyone involved in tonight's contest. A friendly reminder that student athletes play the game, coaches coach, fans support their team, and officials manage the game and sometimes make calls you may not agree with. With that being said, inappropriate behavior, language, taunting, or verbal criticism of coaches, players, and officials will not be tolerated and may result in your removal from the gymnasium. This game is being played according to the rules of the National Federation of State High School Associations. And now for tonight's starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Dartmouth Indians. Aiden Smith, Dylan Gomes, Jake Chiquito, John Emily, and Hunter Madison. Cameron Montero, Braxton Baker, John Francois, Dominic Hopkins, and Deron Baker.
Okay, before we honor Americans playing the national anthem, last week, Boxing Nation lost our dear friend and former head basketball coach, Victor Ortiz. In honor of Victor's memory, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, I ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem.
Well, that was definitely nice of Athletic Director Kevin Carroll. Remember, again, like we talked about, Coach Ortiz almost gets you choked up a little bit. Another great man that had a lot to do with molding young minds, and it's not just in basketball, but in life.
Yeah, such a tremendous legacy here at Staff Gymnasium in Victor M. Ortiz Court. And is this the first home games since the passing? Do you know?
No, we had the Lawrence game.
We had the Lawrence game, and then this is all right.
Yep. All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome everybody watching in the greater Dartmouth area as your 5-1 Dartmouth Indians come in. As they
red hot,
exactly, red hot Dartmouth Indians. Of course, as they take on the Brockton Boxers. Boxers currently 2-1. It's going to be one heck of a turnout. Like you mentioned before, this Hunter Madsen. He sounds like we're going to get our first look at him. They're playing here Division I high school basketball.
Yeah, it's something when you played a lot of games early in the year like Dartmouth has, and Brockton's only played 3 games. It might come down to the little things that Dartmouth already has down pat.
All right, so the tip-off one just like that, and there's a steal. Great job. Brockton in transition. Here comes Montero. As they work up Brockton Baker. Over to Francois. They're moving on the perimeter really good all the way to the far side. Montero looks like he has a shot. He'll take it. That's off. Rebound Dartmouth. That's Aiden Smith brings it up. He works it down low. They kick it back to the outside. There's a shot for 3. It hits is Dylan Gomes.
Going to shoot a lot of threes here. Dartmouth is not shy from beyond the arc.
Now Baker over to Montero. Back with us. Driving and moving. His floater won't go. Rebound Indians. And the point guard moves that ball up quick. Move back to the outside. Faster on the perimeter. They're going to get number 10.
Yeah.
Or the trouble.
One too many steps there. Good by Brockton, though, clogging the lane right there.
They go with a simulated half-court press, not too strong. Francois has a look, and hits off the glass.
The bank is open, huh?
I'm going to borrow that for the season. That's awesome. Baker on Smith. Work it down to the other, the other side, excuse me. Or the top of the key. Driving, moving. Gomes is going to try to move. That's blocked by Brockton. And they're going to say it was off his leg. Hopkins turns around. He's going to take a three. That won't go. Rebound.
Madsen,
yeah. Kid got some vertical leaps.
Yeah, he's a talented player.
And the kid's only a junior.
That's it. Only a junior. Yeah, you got that right.
Off the inbound in the Brockton end. They're working around the perimeter. There's a baseline long three that's off. Rebound Brockton as Montero brings it up fast. Francois almost lost it. Bounces it, comes out. That's blocked. Ball's loose. Gonna have a jump ball.
See, the Boxers definitely want to push the ball. They just got to have a little bit more control here.
Inbound ball in the Dartmouth end. Francois has a clean look.
Wow.
That was pretty smooth.
I got to say, I didn't expect him to hit his first couple threes.
Exactly.
But, hey.
Oh, nice drive by Smith. Can't finish. They follow up and hit.
Oh.
They're going to call that on Hopkins, his first, team first. And just like on the pregame, he talked about this big giant, this man that he ends up almost
Junior center.
Yeah, oh my God, what a great athlete to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch him tonight. I've heard a lot of good things about him, and the Coach Barris has confirmed it in the pregame interview earlier when we were chatting with him.
To say he was a little worried would probably be an understatement.
Oh my God.
He knows.
The first kid that came to his mind.
Now Baker. Over to Montero. Montero trying to drive. Kicks it back over to Hopkins. Little miscommunication. Devon Baker.
Oh.
Money. Now Gomes. Gets it over to Smith. Smith covered by Braxton Baker. Spins, moves his floater with the right hand and goes.
That was nice. That's tough to defend right there.
They work it inside. Dominic pass is blocked. Nice move by Smith. Baker thinking three. Off and in. Kid is smooth.
Yeah, that's his second three.
Lost the ball. Braxton Baker's going to try to finish. Oh, tried to reach it in, but right there is Montero. Timeout. Timeout, Dartmouth.
Feels like a track meet.
It's going to come down to one of those teams. Right now, both of them, like mentioned this before about. Well, we have both mentioned a little bit about how both teams is going to come down to who's in the best condition, consistency, and right now Brockton has the edge with, as you can see, 4:14 left in his first quarter.
Yeah, they're hitting their threes. Let's Brockton have 4 threes early on, 2 from Francois and 2 from Baker. So, 12 of their 14 points have come from beyond the arc. So that's key. They keep hitting their threes, they'll be fine.
Now, if you're watching the Lawrence film as a coach, not as a fan, as Coach Rollins, I was wondering, what would you do if you're Dartmouth? Would you go to that full press as you can see, Coach Nick Simonetti, again, first year, great job he's doing coming into this game 5-1. But my point was, what would you do? Would you go to press right away? Because that's what Lawrence did.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of stamina to go with full court press the whole game, and you got to have the athletes to be able to do it. And you got a big guy like Madison, your best player. I don't realistically know if that's going to work out for you. 'Cause Dartmouth's not a huge team, as you can see out there.
Now off the inbound, here's Smith. He sees Francois coming. Covered by Cameron Montero. He's going to go to his left, as you can see. He stops. Works it over to the far perimeter. Emile kicks it back out to Smith. Thinking about driving. Stop. They're clogged inside. Smith. Oh, great job by Baker.
Nice defense.
And then Smith is right there to steal it in transition. Driving, and he's fouled.
Might get Francois for that. Yeah.
And they do get 21. They do get Francois on that one. His first, team second. And that Aiden Smith, the sophomore guard, 5'11", he's the real deal.
He is, and I was just looking at Francois. Boy, is he built like a linebacker.
Yes. Now checking in for the Indians, number 20, Adam McGower. And coming out is John Emile. So we got a change there. Looks like they're going to more of a power forward look. Hopefully bringing him in. Hits the second. And Montero. Of course, now in the game for Brockton is Forts. Number 14, there's Forts. At the top, moving. Francois thinking about showing back to Forts. Forts lost the ball. Not a good pass. Driving, moving, kicks it inside. Miscommunication between him and Baker. Is trying to finish. Smith, and he's fouled.
Third foul already here for the Boxers.
Yeah, 3 now. Cameron Montero's first. That is a smart ball player.
Sure is.
He's not the tallest kid.
Nope,
but he knows he can make stuff happen.
It's crafty. It's crafty.
Yeah, absolutely, well said. Very crafty. Now Rateau checking in for the Boxers. Nathan Rateau, and it looks like Braxton Baker will take a seat.
Rateau's fun. Another guy who's fun to watch. I remember watching him last year.
Hits the second. Montero. Forts. Oh, I thought he was going to get for travel. Baker now. Over to Rateau. Rateau now. Montero. Around the perimeter. Trying to get a cutter. Was thinking Baker. Works to the far side. Forts. Thinking about driving. Francois going to shoot the 3.
Almost.
I mean, the kid's all over the rim. That almost went.
That almost did go. Got a good look.
Now checking in for Brockton, number 23, Brandon Bennett. And they go long ball just like that. They cut in. Madison, his little hook shot.
Oh.
Kid has that down pretty well.
I don't know how you defend that.
Gonna go big on big. Nice job by Dylan Gomes blocking that one. Brockton ball in the Dartmouth end, as you can see. 2:27 left in the first. Rateau. It's over to Bennett. Bennett now. Inside to Hopkins. Hopkins. Bennett to Francois. Rateau. Cameron Montero thinking about shooting it. Moving inside. Hopkins, no give and go. Far side. Baseline. Rateau's going to drive. Kick it back out to the long 3. That won't go. Nice try, but that falls short as Rateau misses. Forts checks out. Madison checks out, and Devon Burgo, number 33, checks in now.
Yeah, we'll see how this affects Dartmouth. But I don't think they'll keep Madison off for long here. Probably the final 2 minutes of this quarter. That's about it.
And another foul. There he goes. Offensively, it's turning in his first quarter, turning the Aiden Smith show.
It sure has. I mean, they got a couple nice players, Smith and Madison.
So that's on Hopkins, Dominic Hopkins, his second team fourth. As Bennett gets a little constructive criticism from Coach DeBarros. Hits first. We're tied at 14. Hopkins will take a seat. Looks like Braxton Baker's about to check in. Baker will check in. Francois will check out for Brockton. And here we go, Braxton Baker, just like that. He read that away. That's a travel. That's a nice play by Smith on the floater high. Won't go. Ball loose. And here comes Braxton Baker. Bounce pass. Too low for a toe. Now they're going to push it. Here comes Smith again. Lost the ball. Didn't see Braxton Baker. Coming up fast. Here comes Brockton. They'll call a block on the floor.
Smith's a little banged up, too. It's like he hurt his finger.
They call that on Burgo. His first team first. As Forts will go to the charity stripe and try to give Brockton the lead. Definitely, hopefully tie it up with 1:20 left. This is the first. He hits the second. Nate tied at 15.
Tied at 15. This is sort of what we were expecting here.
That was just out of control. Smith lost his composure. Here comes Rateau. He's going to try to drive. Oh, up the glass. It won't go. Boston.
Oh, what a play.
And Montero.
Wow.
Holy moly. You had Bennett, you had Rateau, and you had
That was
Montero.
nice. Never giving up. Crash those boards.
I wish I could elevate like that.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, nice try. That one goes by Montero over Dartmouth in transition. They're going to say the ball was tipped. Now driving. He kicks out to the far side. Forts. Bang. Now Smith. Baseline. Always back to Smith as he got ball that from McGower. Now Smith, he'll wind it up. He knows how much time's on the play, on the shot clock. There are 4.3 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. We're going to have a reach on Forts.
Bad foul right there.
I would call that trying a little bit too high. His first team fourth. That should be the fifth. Yep, there it is. McGower thinking about shooting. Kicks it out to the far side. Bounce pass. They work around really fast. There's a shot. That's blocked. Ball loose on the floor. Here comes Brockton. Bounce pass. Finishing and blocked. Great combination on the quick transition from defense to offense. So here we go, inbound pass. 3 seconds left in the quarter.
Gotta get it off.
And he didn't get it off. He didn't hear him. After 1 quarter play, your score, Brockton 20, Dartmouth 15. We're going to have Chris Brazel. So the way we're going to do it, where is Chris? Hopefully he's still around. Oh, there he is. So what we'll do is when Chris comes to talk to you, you can talk to him with the mic. Then point to me, and I'll be lined up in the stands ready to see if I can get a fan that we can talk to at the half, okay?
That sounds like a great idea.
I try. You know me, I'm not a brain surgeon type of guy. So if I can't, you know what? Either that or we can, like, get a cup with a string on it, and you can pull it. Then you can, like, whisper in it. Dom, go ahead. Yeah. You know when it's bad? When the producing director, Mike the Postman Simmons, is shaking his head at you.
He knows.
He knows. All right, so the Indians smartly come out with Madsen, Montero. You got to come out with Aiden Smith. He's your point guard.
Just a sophomore, too.
He's a sophomore. Adam McGower. And I'm trying to get the other gentleman's name. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. Oh, and Burgo, Devon Burgo. He's the only one that has a foul right now in this first half for Dartmouth.
Yeah, they have been playing a very smooth game and not getting into foul trouble. But Boxers, Hopkins specifically, he's got 2 fouls, so they got to be careful.
Boxers are going to come out with Braxton Baker, Rateau, Cameron Montero, Forts, and we're getting to the gentleman, and Smith drives and he's fouled.
Getting a little way with an armbar right there, looked like.
And Bennett's the other guy. So those are your 5 for Brockton and your 5 for Dartmouth. And they're going to call that on Rateau. His first team 6. We're almost in the single bonus. It's the first.
Hey, 22 on the make. 22 on the make.
Aiden Smith, he's a little Kevin Nash on this team, huh?
Yeah.
Gets them both.
Yeah.
Braxton Baker. Over to Cameron Montero. Thinking about working it in. Works around the perimeter really well inside. Forts was thinking about it. Moving.
Oh, travel.
They're going to get him for traveling, and he did.
All day.
Adam, help out. Adam, help out.
Now a little press there by McGowan. They're going to get McGowan for dragging. Another turnover. Here comes the big man. Now you're getting serious. Devon Baker's in the game. And they got the speed in there now. They got Jordan Fonts, number 3.
And if you're Dartmouth, you just got to slow the game down a little bit. Getting a little bit out of control here. A little bit. Got to slow it down.
Fonts, bounce pass to Rateau. Thinking about shooting. He stopped it all the way over back to Rateau. Braxton Baker was thinking about it. Fonts has a look and he's going to take it. And hits.
Nice look, nice shot. Nice pass, too.
Nice way. On their top of the key, they're working around that outside perimeter.
Yeah.
You got to hold on Braxton Baker. His first, team first, and having 7 fouls. 7 minutes left. And 7 fouls. You know, you're in the single bonus. That'll bring up. You got to put Aiden Smith to the charity strike.
Yeah, we've been talking about this since they had 2 fouls. We said they got to stop fouling. And now we're here with 7 fouls. This is what's going to happen here. You see a lot of free throws late in this half here for Dartmouth.
It's the first. He hits the second. The lead is 4. Rateau. Little bit of simulated press. Great job. Hustle by Montero of Dartmouth. Braxton Baker over to Fonts. Back to Baker. Over to Rateau. Inside to Devon Baker. Fonts. Braxton Baker to Fonts. Thinking about moving. He has his little floater with the hand. It goes.
Nice.
Oh, he just went over Goliath and got that
Sure
in.
did. Got right in the lane and made it. That was a nice play.
Now Montero to Smith. Smith trying to go around Braxton Baker. Back to Montero. Kicks it outside. A little bit of miscommunication to him and Burgo. He was thinking right. Burgo was thinking left, and the ball's out of bounds.
Our ball is out of bounds. You look here in the second quarter, Madison's really been a non-factor. Fox have been doing a really good job on him here in the second.
They work it around very well. Fonts inside. Devon Baker driving Rateau. Kick to the far baseline. Fonts is going to drive his floater up the glass, and he's fouled. We call that a Hunter Matson. His first, team second.
Nice aggressive move right there.
And I can honestly say, wow, has that young man at the foul line has grown.
Yeah.
He was always tall, but now he's filling out to his body.
He's a big kid.
Hits them both.
Good shooter.
Brockton goes with a simulated press. Smith, very fast. Aiden Smith, just like that, he's going to try to drive. He goes with a crazy shot, lost control. Here comes Rateau in transition. Stops, funks. Braxton Baker inside to Draxton, and they're going to say fouled.
It's his second, Madison.
That'll bring Devon Baker. Misses the first. Remember, I don't know, well, I know you remember. Coach DeBarros really talked highly about Devon Baker in that pregame, and we had a chance to talk to him.
He did. I think he said he loved him, right?
Oh, yeah. He's a sixth man.
Yeah.
Gomes checks in, and Montero checks out for Dartmouth. Again, we'd like to welcome everybody in the Dartmouth area watching on the Brockton YouTube channel. Big shout out to my sister Teresa. Driving, trying to make a move, won't go. Rebound Devon Baker.
They're playing right into Brockton's hands right here, Dartmouth.
Bang! Francois, what's that? 3 for 4 off the top of our head, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Dartmouth's changing it up at the point, too.
Now to the far perimeter. McGowan is trying to move, trying to go around Fonts. He's stuck. Trying to get to Matson. Matson needs to be challenged using the big frame. Almost lost the ball. Turn around hook shot and falls.
It's be nice just to be able to throw it up there.
Yeah, but you know he has a gift.
Oh, of course. He's got a gift of height, man. Nice touch.
Again. Sorry about that. I thought he was going to hit another 3.
Never know.
Matson there to clean that up. Now Rateau blocked. And a hold. That almost looked like a hockey hold.
It did.
His second, team eighth. That's going to be an intentional. He hits the first. Hits them both. All right, so we'll have an inbound pass in the Brockton 8. 4:50 left in this first half.
Back to a 6-point game.
Devon Baker.
Oh.
And we are pleased to introduce to you number 33, Marcus Forts, the freshman. Number 33 works inside, ball blocked. Miscommunication from the boxers, and Dartmouth read it. From the far side.
Look at him.
Gomes to hits. Devon Baker spins. Montero. Devon Baker now trying to move around the big guy. Gonna get him for travel. Dominic Hopkins checks in, and Devon Baker will take a well-deserved rest.
Some nice defense, though, there by Masson, that play.
He had himself perfectly played to play that defensively.
Oh, yeah. This is what, a 12-point game? Now it's down to 2? 10-0 Dartmouth run.
Yep. And here comes Aiden Smith. He slowly brings the ball up to the far side. They work it around. Baseline. Trying to work it back to Madison. Trying to find a cutter. McGower had a shot. There's a look for 3. Won't go. Rebound. Cameron Montero. He's going to run it. Marcus Fonts. Fonts pass inside. 2 Fonts and hits. Forts the Fonts for 2.
Nice pass right there.
Trying. McGower. Francois is there. Francois is going to try to finish. And he does with the backspin up.
Wow.
Why are we not cutting? Why are we not moving?
McGowan. Trying to work it inside. We have a foul. Going to call that on Cameron Montero. His second, team second. Team 9th, excuse me. Boy, did I mess that up.
Been a long day for you. Time to get up this morning.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Gomes to shoot 2. You got to hit the first to get the next one. Puts Dartmouth in the double bonus.
22.
There you go. Lead is 5 with 3 minutes left. Hopkins. Here comes Forts. Braxton Baker over to Forts. Thinking Montero. Bounce pass. Nice job. Montero for a shot. That won't go. Rebound, Dartmouth. There comes Aiden Smith. No, I'm sorry. That's
Chiquito.
Chiquito.
Yeah. Oh.
That's blocked. Not than that. We wanted a foul. Smith.
Oh.
Shot by Forts all the way up to Cameron Montero. Nicely read by Aiden Smith. Almost ran out of real estate.
Nice feed.
I'll tell you, him and Smith, Matson and Smith they know where they're going to be.
And that's scary that they're just a junior and sophomore.
Fonts for 3 won't go. Rebound, Dartmouth. Here comes Aiden Smith again. We're approaching 2 minutes left in this first half. I'm going to say it was last off Cameron Montero. The lead is 3. If you're Coach DeBarros, you're just trying to get the rhythm back.
Yes, and you're trying to stop the bleeding, and you're trying to find a way to stop Madison.
So Forts checks back in on the inbound pass in the Brockton end. Baseline. Matson. Works it back into Matson. Aiden Smith was thinking about moving, trying to go around. He lost the ball. They say it was last touched by Brockton. Another inbound ball inside the Brockton end.
Oh.
What was that? Down low. That's blocked.
Hey, stack hard. Stack hard. Stack hard.
Another inbound pass for the Indians.
This seems like Smith and
Rateau when he's fouled.
seems like Smith and Madison are really doing it all for Dartmouth. They got to get some contributions from somewhere else in this roster.
That's if they want to compete, and that's one of the reasons why they
somebody
really
else got to step up.
So Nathan Rateau will go to the charity stripe. That last foul was on Chiquito. Am I pronouncing Jake's last name right? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. There's some things the coach told us.
Rateau to shoot a couple. I'm going to say it was last touched by Brockton. Brockton has to end this first half on a good note.
They do. And they were up by 12 at one point. They'll just be lucky to take the lead in the halftime here.
They move it around quick. Rateau trying to go around Braxton Baker. Kicks it back out to the other side. That's Gomes. Back out to Rateau. Matson now. And that's great job by Rateau. Bounce pass. Montero thinking about moving.
Oh.
He floated about 4 feet horizontal to the rim.
He sure did. He looks like a football player out there, huh?
Yeah, he did. Matson now. Long pass. Aiden Smith to the far side. They didn't see him. And right there is Dylan Gomes to hit that one. They go full court press. Fort's thinking about driving. Bounce, looks. Long shot for
Off the
two.
mark.
Let's see his last touch by Brockton. Donovan Burgo checking back in as Matson again takes a well-deserved break. Dominic Hopkins out. Fonts back in. So you got Forts, Montero, Fonts, Devin, and Braxton Baker for the Boxers. They try to end this first half. There's a long shot for three. Hits. We're tied at 37.
Well, here we go.
Montero lost the ball over to Aiden Smith. Smith. And it's fouled.
Wow. Excellent body control on that finish.
He put that all on the line just to get that hook. That's a tough kid.
You can't tell me he didn't hear those footsteps behind him.
Eight 8.9 tenths of a second left in the first half. So at the half, again, we'll have Chris Brazel over here. Hopefully he'll be ready to go. And you guys can talk about the stats and just give me a point and I'll pick a parent.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a plan, man.
He missed it. And Fonts trying to make something happen. Just going to hold the ball out and let the half end. And that's what happened with your score. Dartmouth 39, Brockton 37. We're waiting for Chris Brazel to come over here and get the mic for him, correct?
I do. I'll hand it off to him when he gets down here.
All right, and I'm going to go embarrass myself out in the stands.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together and welcome to the court. Our very own Brockton High School
What should I speak it? Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Christopher Bazil, and you are looking live at Brockton High, Marciano Stadium, Brockton High basketball arena. As you see here, it's a 37-39 game for the Dartmouth Indians. The Indians are up by 2. It's a close game, well-balanced game. It's a good, well-rounded basketball game for both teams. John Francois leads the Brockton High Boxers with 13 points. Aiden Smith is playing his lights out, playing really well. He's been getting to the line a lot. Aiden Smith has 16 points for the Dartmouth Indians. And Hunter Madison, the 6'7" forward, has 14 points in the paint. All baskets in the paint. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Both teams have to continue to transition and play well. My advice for the Brockton Boxers: try to play more fluid, less turnovers, and more balance, and that's how they can win the game. But Brockton High has to do a better job on offense and play more cleaner, and try to get to the line more. That's your report from Christopher Bazil. Thank you for watching.
All right, everybody went back. And this is the first time all year I've had the pleasure to have the opposing team, which is cool. I'm Dominic Damiano from BHS.
Eric Montero from basketball.
Who's this young lady?
Elijah Montero.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, Dartmouth at one time was down by 12, and they came by, and now they ended that first half. What do you think? What do you think? Besides having, you can see Aiden Smith and Madison; those guys are just on the same page. So, what do you think on the Dartmouth side they have to do to keep this going?
They got to literally just limit their mistakes and just keep the tempo and just keep playing smart basketball, because Dartmouth's way more athletic than, Brockton's way more athletic than them, but they're a smart team. Team chemistry might be in their favor, so just literally play it out like that. Don't turn over the ball, grab rebounds. That's how we win this.
So do you think it also comes down to conditioning? Because, you know, they're both trying to play, when they have a chance, they're both trying to open up the court and run with the ball. Do you think that's going to pay definitely in the fourth quarter, maybe?
Yes, definitely, you know, and I'm hoping in the fourth quarter, Ryan Matson, comes out and has a big fourth quarter, because he's usually always a workhorse. So, that's what I'm praying for. I'm hoping Green gets the victory.
It was nice to meet you. I hope you had a good. Thank you.
5, 9,
All right.
0.
I'm going to try to find one more parent. What's it?
It's Hunter Madison.
His dad's name.
Is his dad here?
6, 5, 9,
He's going to watch you on TV. You're in trouble.
0. Now the winner.
You're welcome. It's nice to meet you. One more. I'm going to try to grab one more.
0. And our winner, Mr. Rodney Wilson.
All right. I don't know if they can. I'm Dominic Damiano. Nice to meet you. Who are you?
John Shelby.
John, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, I talked to a Dartmouth parent, right? And we talked about it might just come down to, Brockton's a very athletic team. And Dartmouth, and they got the Smith kid, Aiden Smith, number 3, and they got the big kid, the junior Matson. What does Brockton have to do to stop that?
Just be more aggressive, play team basketball, and keep working. They can do this. They can pull it off.
You think, and I don't want to sound too much like Omo, but I think sometimes when they do the fast breaks, we get in our own way. They run out of real estate. They don't have enough court to finish. And a smart team like Dartmouth is not giving them the inside, especially in the paint.
Yeah, I think we need to slow down a little bit, set up our game plan, and like I said, just stay aggressive.
Well, it's nice to meet you. All right, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one. Happy New Year.
Sure, thank you. All right, we're going to be back for the second half. Your score at the half, Dartmouth 39, Brockton 37. We'll be right back. everybody. Welcome back to Staff Gymnasium here at Brockton High School. I'm Dominic Damiano, joined by Nate Rollins and Mike the Postman Simmons as we get ready to give you the second half action. Great job by Chris Brazel breaking down that first half. Oh, there you go, Cape Cod Pizza. All right, Nate. All right, your take, Nate, real fast before we get ready to start the second half.
My take is Brockton has to find a way to slow down Aiden Smith and Hunter Madison. I mean, they have been essentially it for Dartmouth. You got to find a way to slow them down without fouling.
How many times have I said this when the Women Hanson girls went on that run every time they had a big lead? They're having fun. The kids are having fun.
Right, but I think Brockton was having a little bit too much fun when they were up 12 points. And now here we are, they're down 2. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see when they come out the break. So Dartmouth's going to come out with Smith, Madison, Emo, and Gomes. Brockton's coming out with Francois, Hopkins, Braxton Baker, Devon Baker, and Cameron Montero. We're underway here in the second half. Over to Braxton Baker, back to Cameron Montero. Thinking about working it down low. Maybe 3. Dominic Hopkins using his height. There's Francois for a nice look. Kid's hot.
Yeah, deja vu. Just like the opening of the first quarter, here we are, another 3.
I think that's 4 out of 5 off the top of my head.
I think you're right.
Aiden Smith, bounce pass. Matson takes away Devon Baker, kicks it back outside. Smith has a look. That's too long. Rebound Francois. Thinking about running, doesn't know if anyone's behind him. Now he's going to run the lane and finishes.
He is an impact player, that kid.
He really is. Aiden Smith now. Kicks over the other side. Chicago's going to try to go. Baseline shot. That's too long. Rebound Matson. Bounce pass to Aiden Smith. He's going to try to drive baseline. His shot's blocked by Braxton Baker. Kept in by Smith. Great job. There's a long look. That's off. Won't go. Ball loose. Kept in by Montero. Now Devon Baker lost the ball. Now in transition, here come the Indians. Gomes. From Emil. They try to go low to Matson. We have a foul.
Hey, White, yes, hey. Possession, go.
We're going to call that on Hopkins, his third, team first, to start this first half.
Dom, I feel bad you didn't even get any of that Cape Cod pizza this time.
Yeah, right.
Everyone beat you to it.
Matson with the floater won't go. Brockton playing tough from the boards. Dominic Hopkins trying to make his presence known. Montero and foul.
Wow, what a play.
Cameron Montero, the last game against Lawrence, coach emphasized how he doesn't believe Cameron Montero has his legs back. Nate, I think he got his legs back.
I do think he has his legs back. And he's kind of like, I don't want to say sleeping giant, but I mean, he kind of is a silent, plays a little bit quiet. You know, sometimes you don't see him, but when he makes his presence felt, boy, is he good.
Working around the ball real fast, the Indians out around the perimeter. Now thinking about driving. That's Emil. Kicks out to the baseline. Now coming Gomes, and he's fouled. Call that on Francois, his second, team second. And Chiquoto to go to the line. I hope I'm pronouncing that kid's name. I feel bad if I'm not. Hits the first. Trying to cut the Brockton lead to 3. Misses it. Rebound Boxers. Montero. Braxton Baker over to Cameron Montero. Far side, Francois, who's been red hot from beyond the arc. Francois again for 3. In and out. On the follow-up, but a great job by Braxton Baker.
Yeah, that was nice. Crash them boards.
Now Gomes thinking about moving too strong. Matson has it. Devon Baker now over to Cameron Montero. In transition, here come the Boxers. Oh, right hand, and he's fouled. timeout. Timeout, Dartmouth. And we're going to look right there, Nate, as better body English after that coming that timeout. If you look at the Brockton bench right now, Nate, you can see them. They look like they're getting their legs. I mean, you mentioned it. If they can't stop Matson and Aiden Smith right now, it seems like they are adjusting to the very good, those very two good players as of right now.
Yeah, I mean, they both have been held scoreless here early in the third quarter. I mean, I know it's early, but that's a good sign. That's a good sign if you're Brockton. That's why they're built now an 8-point lead, looking at on.
Coach Baker now, Coach DeBarros, giving some insight. As they come out of this break.
What do you think he's saying?
He's saying keep what we're doing. We're controlling Matson. Make sure, try to slow down the point guard, Aiden Smith, and we have a shot.
Yeah.
And that last foul was on John Emile, number 23. Montero is going to try to make this a three-point play. And we're going to have a foul on the line.
Jake, come out.
Going to have a violation. Off the inbound.
Hey, circle.
Chiquitudo gets it over Aiden Smith. Aiden, long jumper, hits. Here comes Braxton Baker. Kim Montero, I thought he was going to try to look for three there.
Yeah, I did too.
Devon Baker over to his brother. Now Montero for three. That won't go. Ball tip gets back on. There's another shot for three.
Oh.
That won't go. Ball loose. Covered by Dartmouth. Long pass. Aiden Smith lost. They're going to see he was on the line. Hopefully he went down hard.
Yeah, he did.
That is one tough kid.
Sure is. Got banged up earlier, too.
Dominic Hopkins checks out for Brockton, and checking back in is Leedson Forts. Forts back in. Braxton Baker now. Off to the far side. Montero has not really hit the deep ball yet. Little jump baseline shot hits. I'm saying Little. That was almost. He was 2 feet away from hitting the three, but nice mechanics to finish.
Yes, it sure was.
Aiden Smith.
Oh, nice shot.
Again.
Like Steve Nash right there.
I told you.
Yeah.
Now Francois, who's been red hot from the deep ball. Works it down and low. Aiden Smith.
Oh.
Lost it for a moment. Great recovery. Oh, Montero almost had a steal. Good recovery. Here comes Aiden Smith. Works it around the perimeter. He's going to slow it down. Now driving, almost losing the ball. Kick it out to the far side. 9 seconds. Looking up at Madison. That's blocked by Fonts. He recovers. Tries to follow. That ball's loose. I'm going to say it was last touched by Emile.
No foul, huh? They are throwing everything but the kitchen sink at him down low, huh?
If they want to compete, they got to do it. And you talked about that. They got to work that down low. And there we go, back in play. As you see, 3:40 left in the third quarter. Francois. Fourth shot, that's short. So it was last touched by Devon Baker. And here comes Nawuso. They'll check in for Devon Baker. Nawuso checks back in. Now you definitely have big on big.
Yeah, you do.
McGower trying to move. Big right hand won't go. Ball tipped. Ball loose. Turn around, and he's fouled.
Got good positioning down there, huh?
We call that on Braxton Baker. His second. Did I read that right? I thought he said 1-0. Yeah, his second, team third. Fonts checks out. Francois checks out. Fonts checks in. Nawuso with the big rebound.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Montero. Oh, lost the ball. Great job, but he's able to recover it. Great defense by Dartmouth. Braxton Baker over to Cameron Montero. Thinking about going inside this. Fonts. Timeout Brockton. Nate, 2:53 left. The lead is 6 here in the third quarter.
That's kind of been a quiet third quarter here. Not a ton of action going on, but I mean, if you're Brockton, this is the game plan you want to play. You've come back, you've taken the lead, and you're holding on pretty strong here.
They definitely did what you mentioned from the coaching aspect, to eliminate the big man, to use his body to eat the boards, which he dominated in that first half.
Yeah, and they're just throwing two guys at him down low. They're just making life difficult, making every shot he has a contested shot. And if you got two guys on him, it's going to be tough. So I think they've realized that it was Smith and Madison killing him. And if you're throwing two guys down there, Madison, there's going to be somebody else open. It's just a matter of somebody else now needs to step up for Dartmouth.
Some of the moves that Aiden Smith is making is unbelievable. He's doing the acrobatic act on one way. He's dribbling with his back to a player to come around and get back control of the ball. He's a very, very, very strong guy.
He is. And you mentioned it at the top, and I agree. Steve Nash 2.0 right there.
Yeah, I think I messed up, though. I think I said Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I think you did, but I didn't correct you.
All right, it's all right. I deserve it.
I know if you're talking about somebody else that I didn't know of, so.
Under it. Moving screen.
They got a moving screen on Nawuso. We call that his first. Team fourth. Got a whole quarter play. You don't want to get into the bonus, put the other team in the bonus now. Trying to work the ball around. On a floater. Nawuso, the big man.
Wow.
Now Montero for the far side. For three. That won't go. Ball loose. I'm going to say it was last touched by Matson of Dartmouth.
Nothing in the middle.
On the break. In the Dartmouth end. Fonts now. Trying to run this Brockton offense. Rateau now. Thinking of shooting it. Works it down low to Nawuso. That ball's tipped and going to have a foul on Rateau. His third, team fifth. Here we go off the inbound again. Like you said, a very mellow to the end of this third quarter. Matson now. Aiden Smith with the floater and goes off the glass. Very talented young man.
Very good touch.
Now Rateau. Driving his Braxton, he thought about it. Gets it up to Rateau. Rateau's going to try to float.
Travel.
They're going to get him for the travel. Montero checks back in. And Chiquoto checks out. Francois, that's for Dartmouth. Francois checks back in, and Rateau checks out for Brockton. Those are all your changes coming out of that break.
It's nice, Francois. You can pretty much check him in for anyone because he can shoot, he can rebound, he can pretty much do anything.
Aiden Smith trying to use his speed of the left hand.
That's a foul.
We call that on Francois, his third, team sixth. Matson to shoot a couple. It's the first. Misses the second. Rebound, Brockton, as the smallest kid on the court gets the rebound.
Yeah. Funny how that happens sometimes, huh?
Fonts now. Over to Montero. Montero thinking about going low to Nowuso. Works it back over to the freshman that's in. Marcus Forts. There's a jump shot. Floater. That won't go. Rebound. And here comes Aiden Smith. Trying to go around the freshman.
Oh, what a move. Wow.
The lead is 1. Cameron Montero. Marcus Forts. Montero again. Gonna try to move. I'm gonna say that was all ball. Blocked by Matson. Indians trying to end this period on a good note. Looked like he might have dragged a foot there, but covered by Fonts. Aiden Smith looks like goes left. Stop the ball loose. Madison has the ball, trying to go around the Wuso. Kicks it out to the baseline.
Oh!
Go, ball tipped. Montero has a chance to finish. And he's fouled. Going to call that on Gomes. Dylan Gomes, his first, team third. With 0.9 of a second left in the third quarter. Oh, now Nowuso's kind of limping there a little bit. Might have a tight hammy.
Yeah, it looks like he's grabbing at it, huh?
Yeah. Gotta go see the trainer. They could definitely use him back in the game. Montero hits.
Get it in.
And that'll do it. 8 after 3, your score, Brockton 52, Dartmouth 49 in this very important Southeast Conference matchup.
Yeah, that was a pretty even third quarter there. We saw Brockton go up by 8, but Dartmouth, like they've been doing all game, they don't go away. They battle, they scrap, they got a couple of good plays here, and it's only a 3-point game here heading into the fourth. This could go either way.
Absolutely. So our next broadcast here in Brockton Community Access TV, we will have the girls Friday night as the Lady Boxers. And I'll give it to you 1 minute because, of course, I'm not that organized to get everything all matched up at once. The Lady Boxers, they will host, and this is going to be one heck of a game on Friday. They will host Durfee as the Lady Hilltoppers come in. Another Southeast Conference matchup in the girls conference.
That should be a good one.
The Lady Hilltoppers. So, really looking forward to that one. So we'll have an inbound pass in the Dartmouth end as we get ready to give you the fourth quarter. Chris Brazel will have the stats for you how this game will end. Aiden Smith with a move. Wow. He cuts in.
Gonna be a good fourth quarter. I can feel it.
Montero. Marcus Fort's the big freshman, number 33. Francois. Rebound. Dartmouth. Aiden Smith for a long three.
Oh, boy.
Yes. To the far side. They work it back to the top. Cameron Montero.
There is nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Fonts for a long shot. That side, ball's loose. Fonts gets his own shot. Say it was last kick by Brockton.
Play excellent defense, but if you can't grab the defensive rebound, it's all for naught. Luckily for the Indians, it was a turnover right there.
Dominic Hopkins checks back in. Braxton Baker checks in. Fonts checks out. Musso is stretching out his hamstring behind the Brockton bench. His little jumper won't go. Ball loose. Rebound Brockton. And Dominic Hopkins over to Braxton Baker. Baker looking. Montero back to Baker for three.
That was smooth.
That's what you don't see a lot. Off the rim, around the rim, and in on a three-point shot.
Right.
Aiden Smith, his floater. Won't go. Ball loose. And Matson will go to the charity stripe for a couple. Try to grab back that Dartmouth lead. It's definitely going to come down to stamina.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Who makes their shots?
Again, we'd like to welcome everybody in the Dartmouth area. And, of course, the Brockton faithful watching on Brockton channel, the YouTube channel. As the conference rival, the Dartmouth Indians, coming in tied at 55, but approaching the 6-minute mark left in the game. Francois, Montero, inside, Hopkins, Braxton's going to try to drive, Baker inside to Hopkins. Going to have a hold. That's going to be on Aiden Smith, his first, team fourth. So an inbound ball in the Brockton end. Braxton Baker has a look, too short, ball loose, tip, recovered by the Boxers. Montero, that's the look. Aiden Smith going to try to finish. He went right at him and used his body as a shield.
Yeah.
That is going to be Montero's fourth.
He does not shy away.
Nope. He has a chance to make this a three-point play. And he does. Now they had a little bit of a simulated full court press. They go back to their zone. Braxton Baker now over to Cameron Montero, driving the Francois. That ball's tipped. And here comes Aiden Smith again. Over to McGower. McGower thinking three, long shot, won't go. Ball loose, covered by Montero, back to Aiden Smith. Inside, Matson. Blocked.
Somebody else is going to make a shot if you're Dartmouth here.
Timeout, Brockton. They got a three-point lead, and there's a fresh look at the bench of Coach Simonetti, Nicholas Simonetti, first-year coach, coached the JVs for a while. Actually has a 1,000-point record at Dartmouth.
Wow, that's impressive.
As a guard. Definitely not a power forward.
Nice. Yeah, or
He's
center.
one heck of a coach.
He is. He's doing a good job here tonight. Got some nice assistants on the bench, too. I've seen them very involved.
So it looks like, if I'm reading this bench right, Dartmouth is going to come out with, if I'm reading it right, Montero, it looks like McGower, Gomes, definitely Aiden Smith, and you got to have Matson play the whole game.
Yep. I mean, the same thing. Maybe they can win with just a two-man show, but they'd be nice if they could get somebody else here involved in the offensive end. I mean, Madison and Aiden Smith can only do so much here, but if this league going to balloon this lead, you got to get somebody else involved.
This has turned out exactly what you would expect as Dartmouth comes out of the break. What you would expect out of a big Division I Southeast Conference game early in this season. Like we mentioned before, this is game 7 for Dartmouth and game 4 for Brockton and game 7 for Dartmouth.
Yeah, game 7 for Dartmouth, which makes it even more impressive because there's a lot of tape out there on them. So they're doing this with a lot of games under their belt here.
Approaching the 5-minute mark left. There's a floor to McGower. Goes over, gets his own rebound, tries to go up. Matson, ball loose, covered by Hopkins. Hopkins for Brockton gets it over to Montero. Montero now. Francois tries to go down low to Dominic Hopkins. Dominic turns around. That's off the rim. Covered Indians. In comes Montero. Long feed. Matson. Montero now. Thinking about Aiden Smith. He does. Smith all the way over to Montero. They're going to eat the clock. That's their game plan. Eat the clock, take the shot. Matson for a shot.
Oh, wow.
And hits.
Did you know he could do that?
Nope.
I had no idea.
I do now. Montero, they've got the lead to 6. Francois is caught in the trouble.
Getting in danger zone here if you're Brockton.
Dominic Hopkins checks out. 4:14 left. As Leeson Forts checks back in. Number 14. Moving the ball nice around the perimeter.
Got to keep the ball moving here.
Driving baseline. Kick to the other side. Covered by Montero. Thinking about driving. Lost the ball. Gets it over to Aiden Smith. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Matson down low. Great job by Francois. Nice read. And have a foul. And have a foul on Dylan Gomes. His second, team 5th.
Here we go.
Off the inbound in front of us. Braxton Baker, Montero trying to help out his own cause. Works in that ball stiff. Devon Baker a little bit too strong. Here comes Aiden Smith. Goes high and he's fouled. A little bit of an Isaiah Thomas going on with him.
A little bit of everything. Very good guard, yeah. Like what I've seen.
Go to the charity stripe and shoot a couple. It's the first. And he hits them both. And here comes Brockton. Francois. Over to Cameron Montero. They close that lane up really well. Francois for 3. Hits.
Big shot.
It's been a while. He missed his last 2, maybe 3. Gomes now. And that was Montero over to Aiden Smith. That was not a backcourt. Looking about shooting. Montero, long shot. That won't go. Rebound, ball loose on the floor.
Wow.
And they got a fresh 30-second clock. Devon Baker had it for a minute, lost it. Trying to finish a block by Forts. So now we'll have an inbound pass in the Brockton end. 2:39 left in the game, as you can see. Off the inbound. Oh, Cameron Montero was out of steal. Over to Gomes. Back over to 8. Now to Chiquad, who has a long shot. Cuts off the rim. Gets a rebound. That's what you do when you follow your own shot. That can happen. Aiden Smith trying to use the clock to the best of their advantage. Montero almost out of steal. Timeout. Timeout, Dartmouth. 2:11 left. 63-58.
Yep. And you see both teams stressing, settle down.
Yep.
You hear Coach Barrow screaming on the sideline, relax, and you hear Aiden Smith rallying his team saying, hey, settle down.
Brockton's in the single bonus. Dartmouth is about to go into the penalty. The next foul is definitely going to put. No, I'm sorry. They got 2 more to give.
Yeah.
But as far as foul trouble, Montero has 4. Hopkins and Rateau have 3. Francois has 3. The only one in any type of trouble for Dartmouth is Dylan Gomes. He has 2. Hunter Matson has 2. Otherwise, they're sitting pretty good right now, the Dartmouth Indians, as far as players in foul trouble.
Yeah, and if you're Dartmouth, you know this is going to go through Matson or Smith. But if you're Brockton, who you running through late here in this game?
Well,
who's your guys?
Well, you know Francois can hit the deep ball. He's always proven that. But sometimes you can't. You need some of the young kids. You need, they can play. You got Braxton Baker. You got Francois. Devon Baker has to try to keep up with his big brother.
Right.
I mean, I'm sorry. They're both the same. They're both graduating at the same time. I said that wrong. Excuse me. Off the inbound is Dylan Gomes. They're going to try to press him right away. Trying to lose the ball. They're going to go right away. Aiden Smith's going to try to get out of it.
Oh.
Smith almost lost the ball. Matson blocked. Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't either. Looks like ball, but they're not arguing the call.
I'm going to call that on Hopkins. That's his 4th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're going to call that on Forts. Forts, his 2nd. Actually, his 3rd. And now they're in the double bonus. There's Matson's 2nd shot. Misses it. Rebound. Boxes. Here comes Cameron Montero. Lost it for a minute. We're going to have a reach. Call that on Dylan Gomes. His 3rd, team 6th. So we'll have an inbound right in front of the score bench. Actually, that's to the side of the Brockton bench. Francois. That's Baker. Montero moving the ball. Baker thinking about doing something. Can you hear the Dartmouth faithful here? Brockton. Oh, what a turnaround! How did that kid do that?
That was sweet.
Brockton pressing. Lost the ball for a minute. Brockton needs to add the pressure. Can't let Dartmouth hit. The man with the ball is the right man to have the ball right now for Dartmouth.
And this place is just going crazy.
Aiden Smith thinking that's a travel. Nope, but they're going to get him on a foul. Going to call that on Francois, his 4th, with 1:11 left in the game. Hits the first, extends the lead to 5. Here's Aiden Smith's second. Hits them both. The lead is 6. Brockton has to move fast. Montero, and he's blocked and will go to the line. So Montero to shoot a couple, trying to cut in the Dartmouth lead. He misses the first. You can tell by the way it hit the top of the cylinder.
Gotta hit your free throws late.
He misses them both.
No!
I'm going to say it was last touch by Matson. It'll be Brockton
Yep.
ball with 1:05 left in the game. So Brockton has another chance. Off the inbound, they get 5 seconds. All the way up to Braxton Baker off the inbound. Francois is going to try to drive. Oh! Going to call an offensive foul.
I think that's his 5th.
That is going to do it for him. Francois has fouled out.
Yeah.
And Dominic Hopkins has big shoes to fill right now.
Tough blow for Brockton.
Get up. Hey.
All right, so here we go off the inbound. 59.8 tenths of a second off the inbound. Brockton going. And here comes Montero. They go fast.
Oh.
They're going to say he lost the ball. Coach DeBarros smartly calls a timeout. Nate, 50.6 tenths of a second left in the game. And Dartmouth clinging on to a 6-point lead.
Yeah, you got to get a quick basket right here and try and get the ball back or force a turnover of some sort. But try not to foul. Well, if you do hit and you get the ball back.
Well, it looks like they lost Nowuso. Nowuso has not checked in at all, so I'm thinking he limped off with a sufficient injury to his.
Looks like it.
Yeah, so he's gone. Brockton looks like they're going to go out with Montero, Braxton Baker, Dominic Hopkins, Leedson Forts, and Devon Baker.
It's going to be tough without Francois because so much of what they do on offense is
He's gotta
through
have
Francois.
over 20 points, close to 20.
Yeah, we'll have to check with our stats man after this one. But
Yes, we will. So if you can do me a favor, after the game, just remind him, once he does his report, he can sit here and do it with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to line up the coach, and you guys can just point to me. I'm just going to be over there, but make sure you also wrap it up before you give him the money.
sure.
And then you can just cue him. You know what I mean. All right, so they are going to look at that. I guess right. They're going to come out exactly what I thought.
Hey, make sure they don't pull it. Make sure they don't pull it. Make sure they don't pull it.
And here we go. Braxton Baker, Cameron Montero, back and forth just like that. Almost lost the ball. Aiden Smith almost had a steal. Devon Baker lost the ball for a minute. He's going to try to drive and move. Too strong. Ball loose. Had the ball for a minute. Ball's loose. And we'll see we have the foul on. They're going to call that on number 4. That's on Devon Baker. His first, though, but they are in the double bonus, so they'll go to the charity stripe and shoot 2. Again, Friday night, Nate Rollins will rejoin me again, 6:30 tip-off, as the Lady Hilltoppers come on and take on the Lady Boxers. Hits 1 out of 2. And here comes Cameron. Montero moving for 3. Won't go. Rebound. Braxton Baker trying to move. Montero. It hits.
Got it.
And then smartly fouls him, and I believe
Got it in the right guy's hand.
they did. This is the first. The lead is 5 with 12.2 tenths of a second left. Hits the second. Lead is 6. Got to run. That ball tipped. Trying to finish, and he's fouled and go to the line with 5 seconds left.
Yeah. No, don't. Get a line.
All that on Dylan Gomes, his 4th. Gomes checks out. Burgo checks back in. I think we have an East Bridgewater final coming in, but I'm not answering my phone. As the East Bridgewater faithful, Rich Montero, it's the first. I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
Never misses a game, huh?
Huh?
Never misses a game.
He's faithful. He bleeds Viking blue and gold, right? Blue and gold.
Yep.
Now that's a penalty. So we'll have an inbound pass. They're gonna go. They gotta go full press. They gotta press them off the inbound. They got 5 seconds. Matson will smartly get fouled by Devon Baker. Will go to the charity stripe. 4.1 tenths of a second left.
It's been one of the better games I've seen in a while.
Oh yeah,
You know,
very
really,
competitive.
it's very competitive.
See if we can get Chris Brazel ready to go.
Give you your stats and wrap it up. And
Hits the next one.
Watch up. Don't roll. Eat straight up.
Hits them both.
Back up. Don't stop. Just let him shoot it. Let him shoot it.
He hits it at the buzzer. Well, that'll do it. Your final score, Nate. Dartmouth 70, Brockton 66. They improved to 6-1 officially. Brockton evens their schedule at 2-2.
that was impressive.
Your look before we head it over to the stats guy.
Basketball is a game of runs, and that's what we saw today. Brockton took a 12-point lead, but Dartmouth never went away. And in that fourth quarter, they just took control, never looked back.
All right, so Chris Brazel will take a seat. Chris, finish your stats, and then we'll go up. We'll get it over.
No problem. As you guys saw there, the final result here from Brockton High Arena, the Dartmouth Indians 70 and the Brockton High Boxers 66. Yeah, John Francois was the high man for the Brockton Boxers. He finished with 23 points. Cameron Montero had 14. But on the other hand, for the winning team, the Dartmouth Indians, Aiden Smith had a heck of a night. 37 points, heck of a night. He played pretty much the entire game, played really well the entire game. Hunter Madison finished with 20, the 6'7" forward. Yeah, only a few players scored for the Dartmouth Indians. They played well, and they advanced to 6-0, and Brockton falls to 2-2. That's it for here for Brockton Sports. Thank you for watching, and I'm Chris Brazil. Thank you.
All right, guys, now I have the pleasure. Great job by Chris Brazil. Coach, we talked about in the pregame, Aiden Smith, Hunter Matson, the big and the tall, kid play without fear. Like I said before, and you heard the broadcast, they just had a little bit more fun than we did tonight, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Our guys just got a little tight towards the third quarter and fourth quarter, didn't play loose. And when you give a team confidence, you saw what happens. I mean, kudos to Dartmouth. They came in with a game plan. And even though we hit them in the mouth a few times and we had a nice little lead going into the fourth quarter, they just continued to battle back and they fought hard and they earned that victory. So it is what it is.
Now, unfortunately, I saw Nowuso. He tightened up on that thigh or maybe the calf. What's his status right now?
Yes, I mean he's day to day. So I mean. And he's kind of learning the wear and tear of being a big man playing tough. And guys banging him around. So hopefully, we have a fantastic trainer in Bree, so she'll help him out and he'll be fine. So,
Coach, best of luck next game.
Absolutely. Happy New Year again.
You too. Thank you. All right, so we'll be back with the girls' game on Friday. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast of Brockton High School basketball. We'll catch you next time.